Yes, my 200-year-old New Orleans apartment is in fact haunted. And it all started with the hallway. If you haven't seen my hallway before, I'm going to insert a video of it here. It is the definition of a liminal space. It is terrifying at night, and this is where the story starts. It's kind of freaky, right? Anyway, let me set the stage for you. It is evening time, and we've been in the apartment for a couple of months. We had just adopted a dog. She's a half lab, half golden retriever named Mina, and she's a very even-keeled, very cool dog. She's like exactly what you think that mix would be. She's not a barker, she's not a growler. We are sitting on the couch at night, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she perks up, her ears go, her hair stands up on the back of her neck, and she starts like low grumbling, growling, and barking out into the hallway. This was actually so strange that we filmed it happening. We were kind of joking like, oh, haha, what do you see, a ghost or something? And we couldn't shake her of this. She was so hyper-focused on the hallway, looking out there, so much so that eventually, after about 10 minutes of her really freaking out and just being very unsettled, my boyfriend went and checked the hallway. And he walked up and down the hallway, he checked, no worries, there was nothing there. He even checked the back of the house to see if somebody had like broken in or something. Nobody there. Fast forward a couple of nights, the dog is waking up now 2 times in the middle of the night around 2 to 3 a.m. barking. Same thing, growling, not like aggressive barking, but just really unsettled barking, like, same thing that you saw in the video. And this is something that's kind of odd, but we're just figuring maybe she's hearing something. She's hearing like a rat running around in the house or something, and we're not really thinking too much of it. After a couple of nights of this, I'm in the bathroom getting ready to go to bed one night, and I'm washing my face. It's kind of like a movie. There's the mirror, and I'm washing my face. My head is down. I remember this so vividly, and I hear Martin, my boyfriend, go, "Hey, Katie." I pop up. I turn around. Out of the corner of my eye, I see a tall shadow going from the living room to the hallway, which I'm gonna put the hallway picture in there again. I think he's fucking with me. So I walk out into the hall where I see the shadow go, and I look down the hallway, and the lights to his office, which you can see down at the end of the hallway, are on. It's kind of on the other end of the house, a little bit bizarre. So I walk down there and I say, "Hey, what did you need?" And he said, "Nothing." And I said, "Did you call my name?" And he said, "No, I didn't call your name." And so, it's a little bit weird, right? But I shake it off. I think that I'm hallucinating or something, and maybe it's not anything at all. Fast forward a couple of days, we were still having a couple of incidences with the dog back and forth. She was still barking down the hallway and staring. Her hair would stand up. It was happening every once in a while. We thought that maybe there was like a rat or a mouse or something. That was the thing that I kept coming back to. So it's evening time. My boyfriend is in the living room. I am in the bedroom. I will insert a short video of what that looks like, because the hall separates the bedroom and the living room. I hear him step out into the hallway, and he pokes his head in after a couple of seconds, and he says, "Did you call my name?" And I said, "No, I didn't call your name." And he goes, "Oh, I thought you called my name, and then I saw you go out into the hallway." Well, that's weird, isn't it? So I tell him that the other night I saw a shadow go from the bathroom out into the hallway that I thought was him. And he said, "I just saw a tall shadow go from the living room out into the hallway, and I thought it was you because you called my name." So this is a little bit bizarre. We're a little bit freaked out at this point, and what happens next is obviously the strangest. So far, by the way, there's more. So in the middle of the night, we are all once again awoken. The dog's barking again. And I want to preface this by saying, we are waking up in the middle of the night to something. I don't know what it is. Is it a noise waking us up? Is it a feeling? There's something going on that's waking us up in the middle of the night. We sit up, the dog's barking. My boyfriend jumps out of bed, puts his glasses on, and he leaves the room and he comes into the living room. As soon as he gets in there, I hear him gasp audibly. Like, not quite a scream, but a gasp. And I come running into the room and I'm like, what's going on? He's staring into the bathroom, and the bathroom has its dimmed lights on. This is not something we left on. He said, I don't really want to tell you this, but I just saw disembodied fucking legs standing in front of the toilet. Now I'm going to show you a picture of what the toilet looks like in there. And it's really important to understand that these legs were standing in front of the toilet. It wasn't a reflection of his own legs in the mirror. It was legs in front of the toilet and then a reflection of those legs in the mirror. Really fucking bizarre. We were actually so freaked out by this little incident that we didn't sleep for a couple nights, but most importantly, we had the house cleansed after this. And to be honest with you, this was just kind of the beginning. So if you guys want to hear more stories, I've got 100 of them.
I grew up in a haunted house, and this is my story. And sorry for the very late post today, friends. The day got away from me. Work was a little busier than I thought. And yeah, holiday shenanigans and, obviously baby menace stuff. I'm sure you guys can hear her making noise. Hi, honey. So this happened in the New Jersey house. I was maybe 4 or 5. I just know I was young. And I had a best friend at the time named Pumpkin, and we would play every single day. Or at least from what I can remember, we played every single day. She was a little older, but we would, hang out, go running, do whatever little kids do in the hood of New Jersey. So this one time, we were in her driveway, and I remember us racing each other. And obviously she was older, so she would always beat me, but I would still give it whatever I could. And so we take off running, I book it, and I remember getting pushed as I'm running. So I get pushed, I fall on the ground, skid my knee as I'm falling, and I look up to see who pushed me, and it was this blonde kid. So this took place again in New Jersey, specifically Orange, New Jersey. And the neighborhood we lived in, there weren't any white kids at all. Like maybe one out of 1,000 houses maybe had a white family. That was about it. So it was odd to me because I see this kid, push me and run by me. And I'm like, oh, where did this kid come from? And I remember distinctly how he looked. He was I guess you could say Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell. I guess I just remember his hair being combed back. He didn't really have a buzz cut head. It was combed back, and he was maybe as tall as Pumpkin, so he was older, at least 12. And as he's running off, he turns around, looks at me on the ground, and still hasn't hit my head that I fell and skidded my knee. And he says, sorry. And then I distinctly remember him running off into Pumpkin's backyard, and all of a sudden just disappearing, and that's it. And he just disappeared like a cloud. I see this and I start freaking the fuck out. I mean, freaking out because I was 5, so it was completely a new experience for me. I don't remember who picked me up off the ground. It may have been my brother. I'm not too sure because he was best friends with with Pumpkin's neighbor who lived on the second floor, this dude named Man. And that was his nickname, Man. And yeah, so he picks me up, someone picks me up. I remember freaking out, pointing in the backyard. There's a little boy, a boy pushed me. He pushed me. I know, baby menace, I know. And I'm freaking out and pointing, and they wouldn't believe me. They brought me back inside, they put the little bandage on my knee or whatever. And that was the end of it for that particular day. So the next day, my mom asks me, hey, what happened? You said you saw a little boy. And I told her the story of me running and getting pushed and the kid disappearing as he took off. And she obviously believed me, and she says, okay, we'll take care of this, but I think you've seen this before. And that's where we'll leave the story for now. Anyway, friends, that is it for me. Again, sorry for the late post tonight. The day just got away from me and all that good stuff. But me and Baby Menace are here. I might do a part 2 to this tomorrow. I'm not sure. I'm trying to tell more follower stories so I can catch up, and maybe 1 or 2 of mine per week. I'm not sure yet. But that's it for me, friends. As always, be easy, stay frosty, and may the force be with you. Peace.
You're on record as saying you lived in a house in, I don't know, Laurel Canyon somewhere, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was a home you bought years ago. You bought it from Carole King.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think
there.
Yeah, Carole King lived there. Gypsy Rose Lee.
And you've been in interviews and you've said, you know, I lived in a house that was haunted. Do you really believe in ghosts and that your house was haunted? I want to know the truth.
Okay, I really didn't believe in ghosts, but that scared me when that many people had seen spirits and stuff in the house, and then just out of the blue, not people, you know, that no one was, the guy wasn't staying in the house. He just rang the doorbell and saw one standing behind me. So that was, but I did
Wait
recently,
a second.
Yeah.
Some guy rang your doorbell.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you said to the guy, hey, have you heard that this house is haunted?
No, I didn't. The doorbell rang. I went to it. It was a UPS guy or Federal Express, whatever it was. And I answered it, got my package, and he said, do you know this house is haunted? And I go, really? Why? He goes, because there's someone standing behind you. And I thought, oh, shit.
Do I have it right that you then called Carole King, the former owner of the house, and had her come over and held a seance with her to get rid of the ghosts first?
You know what? She came over before that, and I didn't really believe, but she's such a cool lady, and I was so in awe of her that we did have a seance. I guess that was what you called it. We held hands, we sat around, and I just wasn't really connected to it. I just kept looking at her like, this is Carole King.
And this was the house where Carole King shot the famous cover to Tapestry, right?
Yeah. She told me there was a
unbelievable.
really, really bad divorce in the house, and that's when I believed. But I did have a scare in London recently. Like, I believed in it now. I now do believe.
What do you mean a scare?
I just gotten there, so yeah, I was a little jet lagged, but I wasn't sleeping, and I was sitting there, and I closed my eyes to try to sleep, and all of a sudden I saw these really scary faces, like old faces, and I was like, okay, stop, you gotta stop. And all of a sudden I was like, Mom, Dad, Annie M, I don't know, just kept seeing all these weird things, and I saw lights, and the plant was moving next to me, and I was like, Johnny, wake up. I'm seeing spirits. And he had all these waves around him too. And he goes, Courtney, you're asleep. I said, no, I just woke you up. How can I be asleep? And he's like, well, I'm asleep. There are no ghosts. And I did see them for sure. And the next night I came into the room and I said, look, and I'm going to sound crazy, but I said, thanks for visiting last night. That was fun. Do not come back tonight because I have to sleep. And I didn't see them again. But think about London. It is a plethora of old and dead people.
And you're saying the ghost respected you when you said, listen, it's time for you to leave. The ghost said, okay, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Do not listen to this scary story at nighttime or right before you're going to bed. Because I love you so much, I'm giving you this warning because what the fuck? So typically I listen to a lot of Spanish scary stories because I like translating them for you guys. I typically listen to these when my husband's asleep next to me and I'm just like scrolling story through story, right? I will say when I listened to this story, I got full body chills, right? But I was like, okay, cool, I'm saving this. This is gonna be a good ass story, and I just kept going. A lot of the times you guys ask me in my comments comments like, how do you sleep after reading all these stories? And I'm gonna be honest, I sleep perfectly well. Like, typically I'm not scared, and I wasn't scared last night, which is why it's so weird that I had a dream about this fucking story. I guess this story really impacted me more than I thought. So I'm gonna translate the story for you guys, and then I'm gonna tell you the dream that I had at the very end. So there was this girl, she was around 15 or 16 years old, and she lived with her mom. Unfortunately, her mom lost her job and they had no money, so they ended up losing their house as well. So one of the mom's family members tells them that they have a house that they can live in because they didn't want them to be homeless, but unfortunately this house was like away from civilization. This house was in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by like hills and mountains, but since the mom and daughter had nowhere else to go, they accepted the offer and decided to go live in this house. They end up going to the house, and when they get there, they notice the strangest thing ever. Right in front of the door is this big ass tree. Like, the tree was so big that when they would try to open the front door, it would be hitting that tree. So the mom thought it was really strange that the tree would be like right in front of the front door. So the people who actually gave them a ride to that house noticed the tree as well, and they told the mom that if she wanted to, they can also help her remove that tree so that it doesn't stop the front door from opening. And she agreed, so they decided to do it then and there. When they removed that tree, on the roots of like where the tree was growing, they see like a skeleton of a baby. The mom says that it looked like maybe someone had buried the baby a very long time ago, because the bones of the baby's skeleton were just being eaten by the roots of that tree. She said that they didn't end up telling anybody about it. She just, had the tree removed, they saw that, and they just like moved on with their lives. Time passes, and in this house, it's a 2-bedroom home. It's a little small, but it does have a hallway that leads to both of the rooms. Both the mom and the daughter start hearing noises in the hallway, and they realize that it sounds like a little baby. She even said it doesn't sound like an animal, it didn't sound like a kid. There was no like steps walking. It sounded like a baby playing in the hallway. So the mom almost felt guilty because she felt like something had happened there. I mean, they found the baby bones, and she just felt really bad that maybe the baby ghost was there. So she started leaving out baby toys in the hallway. I already have chills. So after leaving the toys in the hallway, the mom says that they would then start hearing this baby playing with those specific toys that were left out for it. She mentions that nothing scary would happen, but she did feel that over time, the baby's energy was growing and growing. So one day, the mom and daughter get into a really big fight. And I mean, they were screaming at each other, like they were going at it, and the daughter ends up going to her room and like slamming the door, and mom also goes to her room and slams the door. So when the mom goes into her room, slams the door, and sits alone, she realizes that maybe she was a little tough on her daughter. Mom felt so bad and so guilty that she's like, I'm gonna go to her room and I'm gonna, apologize, and let's try to talk through it. So the mom goes and she knocks on her daughter's door, and of course the daughter didn't answer because she was pissed. After the daughter not answering her door, the mom still decided to open the door, and she starts off with, look, I really need to talk to you. And then she stays silent. The daughter was laying on her bed and she was like, what? That's when the mom was like, get up and come with me. And the daughter's like, what? And the mom's like, get up and come with me. The daughter's like, I thought you wanted to talk to me. And she goes, shut up, get up and come with me. So once the daughter realizes that something is going on, because the mom was really seriously telling her to get up, she gets up. Her mom grabs her by the hand, they leave her bedroom, close her bedroom door, and the mom takes her back to her own room. So the mom explains that when she opened her daughter's door and told her, I need to talk to you, she looks at her daughter that's laying on the bed, and she sees a baby on top of her daughter's chest. She says that the baby was not a normal baby. When the mom was telling her daughter, get up and come with me, that baby would hold on to her daughter even tighter, looking at the mom and smiling at her. Oh my god, look at my heart. I think the reason why I imagine these stories in my head, so I'm seeing this shit like a movie in my brain. Can you imagine? She walked in there feeling so guilty that she got into a fight with her mom, tries to talk to her, and fucking sees a baby on her daughter's chest. As she's telling her, get up and let's go, baby hugs her daughter tighter while looking at her smiling. They left that house that night and never looked back, didn't go back to investigate, didn't want to know what the fuck happened there, because at that point it wasn't just a little innocent baby ghost, because she saw a baby, but it was not a normal looking baby. Now for my dream. So in my dream, I am laying in bed. Leave it to me to take naps in my dream too. And next to me is one of my exes, because my dream wasn't scary enough. And in my dream, I am waking up because I'm feeling something crawling up my body. And when this thing finally gets to the very top, I see a scary looking baby with fucking crazy teeth. And you know how like in your dreams you can't fight, it's like slow motion? Well, as soon as I saw that face, my hand was like trying to push it away. I mean, the baby was like biting my hand, and I was like, what do I do? Because I'm moving so slowly. I was pushing that baby towards my ex, who was still asleep, because what the fuck, take him, not me. But this baby wouldn't give up. It kept trying to come at me, and to the point where I'm slowly moving my fucking head away. It doesn't sound as scary, but like it was fucked up in my dream. Okay, so the baby's still crawling, and once it's like face to face to me, I guess it like I got so spooked that I woke myself up. All it had to do was go to my ex, like, why the fuck would you want me? But no, I got really scared. I woke up and I was like, what the fuck was I dreaming about right now? Anyway, I hope you don't have dreams about this story.